Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovative, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only Master Propaganda. Hero of Select Defender of the Fatherland, off here to a 1v1 own Amilly Fields. Again, the north it is Iskra, fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, coming at Stalin. Here with the glorious 3rd Guards Mechanized Corps, with Guard Rifle, Guard Motor and Airborne Troop Tactics, with mines and infantry bullets in the south. It is Expensive Runner, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here fighting for the Hermann Göring Fallschirmpanzerdivision, with German infantry featuring 250-1 half-tracks, veteran squad leaders, stormtroopers, assault and hold, and fragmentation bombs with double infantry Panzerfaust. We got a Grenadier MG42 start here versus double conscripts there for Iskra. And as always, a big, hearty thanks to my paid supporters, champions and heroes, one and all. Other people can join their last year's ranks and become a glorious champion of the Propagandacast by Patreon and Patreon themselves, or they can donate via PayPal, links in the description. And similarly, now commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing. Well, not as glorious, definitely helps the Propagandacast out there, spread out the word to all people. So, off to the races in the south. We got sandbags up here pretty early there next to us, basically not taking any chances there from any Soviet rushes. And the west is where the MG42 and the gun is moving up, so clearly where the main thrust here from Expense Runner's spear shall land upon Iskra's shield. Up north, in Eastman Force there for the Red Army, constantly in the centre, and there's a bit in the west here as well. Second Grenadiers going there for Expense Runner. Chances are we might even see a full Grenadier build. Some players like to go there when they're going for German infantry. Some don't. Others like to go for the Stormtroopers and the Panzer Grenadiers, since the Panzer Grenadiers also benefit a bit here from the veteran squad upgrade. Sadly, they don't get a 5th guy, but they do get some handy abilities, which honestly are quite good with an upgrade. And it's Pioneers from the Engineers here by the eastern fuel point. First shots fired here, roughly 2-minute mark. We can see the Expense Runners, Pioneers closing with the Engineers, but they're definitely more so infantrymen in the waiting here. And of course, Expense Runners' expensive running sense tinkles in there, and of course tells them to bugger off. In the south, the Grenadiers machine moving up towards the western fuel point, where already Iskra is dug in, where the conscripts squad there will require a bit of effort here from Expense Runner to move in, but we got machine gun basically tying them down behind the heavy car, while the Grenadier squad looks like they're going to flank the conscripts, so thumbs up there. As long, of course, there's another attacking in the other side there. Third guns for the Expense Runner, we can see things are not quite going as smooth as it could have. Again, he could have moved up here, flanked the conscripts, instead of sort of bogging down in front here. Thankfully for Expense Runner, Iskra's not paying attention, allowing the conscripts to switch to the Grenadiers, allowing the machine gun to be out in the bloody open. In the east here, we got Grenadiers, Pioneers versus the Eastern Force here. And Iskra's instead of going for triple conscripts, triple engineers. That is an interesting variation, shall I say, on the typical triple conscripts, double engineer build. But triple engineers is definitely not something you see a lot here from the Soviets and like their situation. So curious as to what the reasoning behind that one is. We'll probably never know, but it's interesting. Concentrating around here, the Western Force from Expense Runner is getting outmaneuvered here. Bit of a risky spot that the MG42 team, I will think, have to fall back here for Expense Runner. At the same time, got Pioneers trying for the car point, looking to mess here with Iska's resource income. We got the first engineer to upgrade flamethrowers, and of course, it's possible he just wants like as many flamethrower teams up here as possible, but still leave himself open to some minesweepers. So, 4th Grenadier squad here for Expense Runner, so in fact it is a 4 Grenadier build. Grenadiers and engineers there. Bit of skirmishing here, but again, flamethrower teams are quite potent, in particular versus the Wehrmacht, because they just typically just have 4-man squads, meaning an AoE weapon like the flamethrower is just much stronger than saying this the Pioneers against the conscripts, where again, you know, small, larger squads. So, little fun side note there. But engines push back here. Grabbing these in a few points. So far, East goes off to like a fairly strong side here versus Expense Runner. He's kind of like been going all over the place. Of course, now that he has more infantry, it can work out better. But right there in the early game, in the very few opening minutes there, that kind of had some issues. Back here for Iskra, we got the Spawn Company. No medics yet. Interesting to note. Oh, there we go. Getting them. Grenadiers pushing in the centre, but there you go, being surrounded. Expense Runner quickly makes the decision to get the Grenadiers the hell out of there. Troops getting ready here. Tech on the way there. Can soon begin upgrading his member with the veteran squad leader here. Machining up, they're going to grab these in a fuel point. And wait. He's actually going for light machine guns. Bit of a rare one there, and personally not something I'm a huge fan of. I mean, one of the advantages of German infantry is the veteran squad leaders, so going for light machine guns here seems a bit counterintuitive. I mean, they're both good in their own ways, but if you're going for German infantry, you feel like you want them to like fully leverage, you know, 4 veteran Grenadier squad leaders. We got multiple light machines of Expensive Runner. Ha. Makes you wonder why he went for the commander then. Anyways, machine with east side here. I mean, there may still be some veteran squad leaders. Maybe he's going to go for like a mix of 2 light machine guns, 2 veteran squad leaders, giving a mix of their firepower can deploy. We'll have to see. 2 engineers upgrade with flamethrowers. We'll have to see if he actually goes for the 3rd one there. I mean, that would definitely be bold in some ways, but I've also then explained why he went for 3 engineers, because he wants 3 flamethrower teams. Like to make a nice with the fixed bench runner, probably a 2-2. They could go for the 251 or a 250 half track. Knees take on knees for the engineers, pushing the back here. Knees what they're retreating. Nothing like the support company. Probably planning to rush it for the T70, which, you know, makes a ton of sense, particularly with the early sort of advantage here versus expensive runner in terms of map control. Got light machine going for the conscripts. They're being bled out steadily here, and the cover isn't quite as playing as well as it could be, so forced to fall back there. Now, Iskra can upgrade the 3rd engineer squad with a flamethrower, but again, he may want to keep 1 ready with minesweepers just in case, but again, 3 flamethrower teams is 3 flamethrower teams, which is a lot of fire. So, I mean, I wouldn't put it against him, like, you know, hold it against him. He went to like, go for 3 flamethrowers, because that's going to be quite potent in terms of attacking. Back at base here, we can go for the armored car now, but again, we also go for the half track. I mean, 4 Grenadier escorts would benefit a lot from a half track. In particular, a map as large as Amilly Fields, it would give him quite the advantage, but he does go for the 2-2, which again is perfectly fine. That's the reason why it's so popular with Wehrmacht players. Pioneers moving up here, machine gun air being swarmed and flanked. Very good push there. Take is almost done as well for Iskra. Nice rifle grenade, and Dust Assault Engineer Squad getting wiped here for Iskra. Great kill for Expense Runner. Great kill, and there we go. T-Sun on the way there. 2-2 is ready. Expense Runner, of course, will need a Pack 40 to put a stop to that. West side's being advanced on there by the German army. Grab these important engineers. Go, 2-2 out. As for Expense Runner, nothing further going on here, but Pack 40 will be necessary. No veteran squad leaders yet. Definitely should go for that soon. I mean, we haven't seen the 250 half track. We're not seeing stormtroopers. I mean, he's just kind of going in for like assault and hunt for going to be slightly disappointed. I mean, assault and hunt was still a great ability, but you know, there's so much more to the commander than just, you know, that. So fun upgrades on the remaining Grenadiers being pushed back here. T-70 is out, and the Expense Runner's got no Pack 40 anytime soon. Crucially, no telemines either. So, he doesn't have a lot of tools like immediately say stop. The T-70 mostly can basically delay it and buy time. Which can work out, obviously, for some time. Unless, of course, he fails in that particular adventure. Grenadiers machine pioneers to the eastward see it. Nothing for happening in the Expense Runner space. Continue to go for that Pack 40. Still not going to spend these. The 2nd year squad also remains unupgraded. And there we go, Iskra goes in a not particularly surprising move for Gart Motor, featuring the T-35, heavy mortars, Gart Rifle Infantry, vehicle repair training, and the marked vehicle ability here for him. Pack 40 there for Expense Runner, very much expected against the T-70. Could of course have like tried for more armoured cars, but that one's definitely a bit more challenging here. Field gun for Iskra and the Red Army. You kind of figured he'd go for the guard squad here first, but the field gun is obviously a solid choice there for the Red Army. And there'll definitely be like a 2nd field gun at some point, as 2 field guns together is a very powerful asset for the Soviets. Eastern point mixes with the Grenadiers. Pack 40 is almost on a Expense Runner. We got the Pack 40 out the Expense Runner. Back here, nothing further is happening. And before the Grenadiers with the Engineers there. Start getting the other one, laying down some mines for less than a fuel point. Very good move there. Rifle grenade off there, landing quite the nasty engineers. Also, fun fact, but apparently wasn't too uncommon. Some German crews would do that. German forces would basically paint small silhouettes of the enemy tanks on the inside of the gun shield within weak spots of those tanks marked in red. That's a little visual aid there for the anti-tank gunners to help deal with the tanks. So, little fun fact there. There we go, we do get at least one veteran squad leader Grenadier there for Expense Runner. Thumbs up. Is in my opinion, quite a good upgrade. It does tend to get overlooked, but it does give you a much more strong offensive element there. With a 5-man squad, they can perform quite well on the move. Plus, they can heal themselves for free. And other units. Obviously, upgrades the second one with it as well there. Would be a good idea there. T-7 is dealing with the Grenadiers here. Definitely not looking great. Pack 40 shoots, hits a bloody wall. Armoured car there. Trying to do something, it's not helping out. They're going to be forced credit from the Pack 4 and the T-70. Quite a bit of munitions being floated by Iskra, by the way. Dodged the mine there. Close call though for his Grenadiers, I'd say. And there we go. Right into the mine. Eastern Field Museum there by Expense Runner. Back at Iskra's base. Moving in to fix up the T-70 rapidly. Medic bunker there for Expensive Runner and the German army. Grenadiers healing up the Pack 40. And going for light machine gun in the 3rd Grenadier squad. So only one veteran squad. It's definitely not typical considering how German infantry is kind of rare. Don't suppose I should say so much about that, but still. I think he'd gone for at least a few more of them. But at least he's making use of the commander then. I still think, you know, some pioneer upgrades could also be quite good. Plus, you know, some stormtroopers. People feel like sleep on those quite a bit as well, alongside the Panzer Grenadiers. Michigan up the eastern side. T-7 engineers conquering forward packed up with the Sister field gun. West side Pack 40 is ready for anything popping through there, but not so much on the east side. Another machine gun here for Expense Runner. We got a guard squad out of Iskra. Like going at those DP light machine guns. Expense Runner, of course, go for mortar, and certainly Iskra, I imagine, is going to go for a mortar at some point. Flanking the Contras, they cover ruined, and I'm rifling off as well here just as an extra gift. There we go. Nicely set up this well, make his opponent think he's going to fight the Contras, so they fight the nearby units. So thumbs up the Expense Runner. Saw an opportunity and took it. Second MG42, the ready for Expense Runner and the German army. You could actually consider taking up soon. I think that'd be a good idea. Then moving for some Panzers or some Sturmgeschütze. I'm coupling it back up with these guards when they're taking hits as well. DP light machine slowing the way. There we go. Grenadiers being hammered by the Sister field gun. I think so, to retreat this Grenadiers before they get wiped. Then again, they're going to have to retreat through the field gun barrage perhaps, which could also result in them getting wiped if they're unlucky. But it didn't happen here. Let's see, we got 452 to 385. And the T-70 is just committing more and more forces like head-on attacks against Expense Runner, which Expense Runner is so far dealing with fairly well. I mean, you could hit at the flanks as well instead. Try to outmaneuver Expense Runner. Rather than charge into the Grenadiers and the packs, I think that would probably result in a slightly better assault here for Iskra. Or at least he's going to need a mortar to, shall we say, make head-on assaults actually functional versus Expense Runner can, because at this point he's just feeding the Germans a lot of free experience. Could get a wipe here. T-7's also good to go. They're 5 kills. He's really pursuing it. That's said. It could also fail if he's unlucky. And there we go. Guards coming in there, buttoning it up here. And the armored car fails to get the conscript. That's some bad luck there for Expense Runner, though. I mean, they were really low on health for quite some time, but the armored car just couldn't land the hit. And then just loses the armored car like that. So I definitely could see the risk paying off there. In this case, he just really got unlucky. And it's something you also have to factor in, like at times, like would it then be worth it to try and sacrifice an armored car for a conscript anyways? And there's certainly, you know, a few ways to look at that one. Do we need tech? Yes, indeed. Iskra can also soon take up a right now. Expense Runner definitely has the fuel lead here, so it's going to be tougher for Iskra to follow up with tanks. That will definitely force another field gun, I think, in the near future. Pack forward with a good hit on the T-7 light tank. Punches cleanly through the frontal armor. Also switching eastwards, but there is an MG42 nicely nested inside the house here. And using the incendiary armor-piercing rounds. Excellent there. Really increases the damage, of course, against infantry and light vehicles, plus penetration. Forcing the guard squad back in. Worth noting he's been using the conscript to merge with it, so thumbs up. West side maneuvering here as well. Very good, but that's it. Expense Runner has a commandeer force ready here to counter such a socialist maneuver. Veteran gives up to cover the flank there. Definitely a bit pressured here for Iskra. 12 kills still closing in on Amilly Fields, burning a bit up there though, need to be careful. Pioneers to the Supoma call for Expansion Runner, can soon go for that Panther 4. And there you go, comes to the west end, we got Better swing as well here. Eliminating the forces with extreme prejudice. Filming 40 for Iskra. No sign of further tech or anything else at least. Almost got the conscript there, but again, does seem like here Iskra has the devil's own luck. And Expansion Runner just can't land a wipe there on his opponent. Grenadiers retreating here. We got the T7 in hot pursuit here. Chance of wipe is not non-existent here. In fact, there's a good chance for the Grenadiers being solo and helping the T7 also being fairly veteran. There we go. One Grenadier squad about to get wiped out. Could even drop the light machine. Would definitely be disastrous here. Definitely nasty cheese. We've got the Pioneers rushing forward. For some reason, Pack 40 is moving in here. But the way it's setting up there is not working out there. And holy hell! No wipes and expansion. Oh, never mind. He did suffer a wipe. The Grenadier squad also dropped the light machine gun. That would have been amazing though if he avoided no wipes on that one. But in the end, the T7 still did a lot of damage and did get a wipe here on Expansion Runner quite aggressively, leaving me feeling a bit sad. They're going for the Carpon as well, up knowing the machine gun there. Really good push by Iskra. The T7 is sliced its way through his front lines. March being great done as well. They're very good by Iskra as well, making it hard here for Expansion Runner to launch an easy counter attack. Pushing force there for Deutschland with Grenadiers and MD42. Panther 4 almost done here for Expansion Runner. Iskra got the heavy mortar out there, excellent. Very excellent. A strong heavy mortar, in fact, it was also quite popular with the Germans. In fact, so popular they started up producing it on their own to supply the troops with. So, off to the front line with that one. That's going to definitely add a significant chance that Expansion Runner's frontline troops here. Panther 4 setting out, adding the pendulum-mounted MG42. Pioneers ready with MG42. Ah, straight into mine there again. Really just throwing a range to the Expansion Runners, like attempt to like really make a comeback again here. Engine damaged. That's it. Iskra doesn't have like any great way to immediately punish this. There's only like one field gun and it's not exactly in the vicinity, so. But even then, like, you know, it messes here with Expansion Runner's momentum and his temper to try and push back against his socialist opponent. Machine getting hammered here with a heavy mortar, forcing it to vacate the premises, and the Seneca is being hammered here. Gasp on the left side. But I do think Iskra like wants to start considering up here soon versus Expansion Runner. Mine's being laid down, and he is actually close to being wiped out. Pretty risky there. Roughing it off as well there. T7 creeping up here close to the east level. Almost got the Grenadiers. Bit of skirmishing. Panther 4's good to go here. West side moving for the western field point. Massive concentration of troops there by Iskra in the center. They're obviously making for a possible breakthrough, but at the same time, also makes for a really big target for, say, the Panther 4. But the field that's supporting it is making Expansion Runner here hesitant to actually engage with it. But they got the Pack 14 with the T-70, pushing at least that one back. But even then, the assault keeps up here for Iskra. Another field gun as well for him. No tech yet. Definitely also slows it down a bit here. Expansion Runner's not far away from another Panther 4 now. It's only 2 Panther 4s right now. Could give him what he needs, but on the other hand, the double field guns, I think, will necessitate something like a mortar to support such an attack. Let's bring in there. Sneak up the flank. We got 432 to 265. Expansion Runner does have a nice victory point lead of his opponent here, and there we go. Second Panzerkampfwagen field for Expansion Runner. Heavy mortars heading up there. And then packing up again. Second Panther 4 roughly halfway done up with the Panther 4 engaging the Sodium fleet, really bunched up, but the shot completely misses the mark. In the center here, support weapons under fire from the Soda Heavy Mortar there. And the machine remains here static, defending the eastern fuel point, keeping it out of Soviet hands. Panther 4, oh dear, straight into the double field guns, right past the guts of the conscripts here. I mean, he's obviously dying here because he tried to back out that like that. He just loses it anyway, so that was just a really bad situation no matter what for Expansion Runner. Like, definitely should have just poked in with some infantry first there. Beautiful kill there for Iskra, and really just ruins Expansion Runner's chance he had of like getting up to Panther Force, then maybe like getting good at push in versus Iskra, so he definitely hurts from that one. Iskra's himself taking up. We got the gun swing in there. Other squad needs to retreat before it gets wiped out as well. In fact, most of Expansion Runner's infantry is in a pretty weak condition. We got the veteran gunners, but they're also being focused down here by all the guardsmen. And the other nasty bits, MD42 in the center, Troll Panther forming 40. No machine gun yet for that one. Right side, could have seen some more action here for Expansion Runner. He's clearly quite focused on the center-west axis here. But the east side, I think, would actually open up some really good pushes. In particular, might have a chance of taking out the heavy mortar, then turning against his opponent. Pioneers from the machine gun there, push back there. Close call there. Pack 40 added again there. Good hit on the T-70. Iskra is closing in on, let's say, a T-3045. He could also go for the T-3476, though. But there's an opponent with a Panzer IV T-3045 is quite a good investment, as it definitely has the upper hand over that. West side, Gunners being 40 here. Constant heavy cover already. It's going to be difficult to deal with, though they are low on health, so not too difficult either. And Iskra basically just goes, yeah, I'm not fighting that one. Mines up here, looking to cover against the flank there. Not shabby. Can soon go for that T-3035. Got the mines down here. Heavy mortar there. Gunners on the west side, backed up with the Pack 40, the Panzer Abwehr Amilly Fields. And we get a mortar from Expansion Runner. Thumbs up, very good to see. Mines for their spot in the mines. Panther 4 dealing with some of them, but there's still more mines to go there, and still ends up killing some Expansion Runner's men. T-3045 there for Iskra. Gunners need to retreat before they get wiped out here. They're already low on health, they're low on numbers. Pioneers, meanwhile, are quickly bulked down here in the eastern fields. Panther 4 being pushed back with the field gun. West side could try and push the western fuel point. Of course, he might be concerned about mines as well. Panther 4 taking a hit here. He could go for Stug soon. I think that would be fairly good idea. They would possibly just stick to both Panther 4s. Heavy mortar still at it. But we got the Grenadier fighting for Expansion on the east side. We got the Guardsmen forts backed up in the engineers. Panther 4 there with 2 kills. T-35 there's right for Iskra and the Red Army. The later model of T-35s, there were technically 2 models of the T-3035. There's an early model with a slightly less powerful gun in terms of penetration and velocity, and a slightly less well-armored turret. But that's a very early 1943 model, and would be quickly rectified by 1944 with, well, bigger gun and better turret. These are the Gunners there, push back. East side fuel from being fought over here between Iskra and Expansion Runner. Heavy mortar still added. Could consider laying down some smoke screens to support his attacks. And similarly, Expansion Runner could consider some smoke screens from his mortar to support an attack. But so far, neither side seem to be doing that particularly much. Panther 4 swinging westwards. First and fuel being grabbed there by Expansion Runner. Closing in on the second Panther 4 here. Fragmentation bombs also now available. Quick dash here straight through Expansion Runner's eastern flank and the gaps within. T-35 round, also still got the heavy mortar active, using it to barrage, looking to silence that MD42 again. Oh, it's firing at the expected target rather than the 301. There you go, fragmentation bombing on each side by Expansion Runner against Iskra. Support weapons everything bounced up here. Can the fragmentation bomb do the job? And did a bit of damage, but nothing huge still. It did disrupt Iskra's formation a bit. That can allow Expansion Runner to then perform a bit better there, but not quite perhaps as explosive as he would have hoped for either. We got the Stug 3D there for Expansion Runner. Gunners under fire from the T-35. Pack following into support. Need to get the gunners before they get wiped though. And they did get wiped. Huge blow hits Expansion Runner. Down to just 2 infantry squads, opponent with 4, so that's a bit perilous. Iskra's also closing in another T-35 here, possibly versus Expansion Runner already. Stug halfway done. In the centre, Panther 4 trying to do an assault. He cancels the Stug for another Panther 4. Part of me is slightly disappointed at that, but with the lack of infantry he has, I can understand going for another Panther 4 here. Though he definitely should replace some of his infantry losses. I would recommend Panzer Grenadiers or Stormtroopers. Whereas he can't be forced to back the Grenadiers, they are able to maintain positions there. Another RAF Grenadier against the Grenadiers, pushing them back. Better from the pack on the T-70. Also, fun fact about the RAF grenades, they could be fired from other things than the Karnan TKs. They could also fire from the T-33 or even the Sturmgewehr for Fields sake. So, in that sense, fairly flexible. Panther 4 out there for expense runner. But, try and imagine, your Panzer Grenadiers with rifle grenades as well. That might be a bit much for some. Fixing up the Panther 4. So 2 Panther 4s was 1 T-35, though of course there's the crucial element of double field guns backing up that T-35. That's definitely the dangerous party for Expense Runner. Of course he does have a mortar, and he could mortar them with smoke. Second pack 40 for Expense Runner. Pioneer caught here with the Guardsman. There you go, shot from the Panther 4. Hits the T-35 through the hedges, but unfortunately for Expense Runner, bounces off the armour. Second pack for the almost on the fixed Expense Runner. Could cancel it for Stugrad. No, definitely would recommend that personally, but Pioneer's been body with the 6th Division field gun. Mortar is... Where is the mortar? It's all the way back here though. And there you go, good heavy mortar hit on the MD-42. We actually got smoke here. Oh, so there's a field gun barrage. All the way the smoke is good to deploy there. Oh, we actually got smoke here from Expense Runner as well though. I guess that was a misclick there from him. I can only imagine that was a misclick. Which is a shame, but at least they're both using smoke, so that's a start. And this smoke here definitely you can see force expansion to fall back, because if it didn't, you could risk getting charged through, at which point they just really mess with things. So it has to basically force them to reposition. That can highlight the power of smoke in that sense that you force your opponent to have to abandon positions or risk getting assaulted and overwhelmed. In this case the assault never happened, but if it had and he had moved, that could have been really bad for Expansion Runner. T-5 engaging, pack 40 setting up here, target weak point, I think right about now no, not enough, too slow actually. East side, pack 4 looking like he could try and sneak up. I mean, the heavy mortar's flank is wide open. Of course, he might be concerned about mines, but I think sneaking in the Pioneers first, could check for that first. He could do stuff under the half track, since they can spot mines from inside a half track for some reason. Pack 4 taking it from the 6th Division field gun, pack 4 to transfer in the T-35 though. Looking at the flank here, heavy mortar is slowly being repositioned. Panther faster than T-70 light tank. We've got 319 versus 223. Panther 4 lining up the flank. He gets in a quick pot shot before scarpering off again to slightly less hostile positions. He's coming up western fields with him easily in the way into the Panther 4 and the Grenadiers on the flank. Second Panther 4 robbing, catching the crossfire here. Eastern field on his own. We got 315 versus 223. Iskra has definitely closed the gap between the two in terms of victory points though. He has definitely closed the gap. But that said, he's not bringing up a lot of armor. Partly with this is definitely, I think, a manpower bleed issue, but he definitely should be bringing more tanks here and get instead the Katyusha. I feel like the Katyusha here is a not optimal choice, I would say. Not optimal. I mean, he's already got the heavy mortar. I think better use of the heavy mortar will do more good than the Katyusha. Plus more tanks, I think, allow for more aggressive attacks. In particular with the T-35s, which can absorb more damage. We've got another Stug attempt here by Expense Runner. We'll have to see if he actually sticks to this one around. It goes for a Panther 4 again. Can't be rowdy with the Panther 4. Grenadiers bring up the MD-42 support there. And we got the Pioneers actually upgraded with the Veteran Squad Leader. Thumbs up there. Very handy on the Pioneers. Well, they don't get the same level of bonus as Grenadiers, but still just adding a 5th guy on a Pioneer squad is really good, since it does mean faster repair speeds and more survivability. Plus another gun. Katyusha route on the for Iskra, and East T-35 gun opening up the Panther 4 there. Could still do with more infantry though, Mr. Expense Runner. Looks like he does go through with a Stug here for Deutschland. As for Iskra, we got the BM-13, catches your rocket truck out. Ready to bombard some Germans. Sturmgeschützline as for near ready here for Expander Runner. Should have the pinlock machine gun, at least that's my opinion. Smoke being deployed here as well. Oh, this is good, this is good. Looks like he's lining up for an assault here, and he's doing it in the proper manner. He's going to attack head-on by deploying a smoke screen. And note here, where Iskra's like bunched up his defenses, making it difficult to break through. The only element, again, that might make this slightly more risky is the fact, as I've mentioned before, he doesn't have a lot of infantry support to attack here, so this could backfire. I don't know, we'll have to see. But so far, smoke deployed, attack didn't flop. He could still deploy another smoke screen now because, well, it has a very low cooldown, so he can just fire more smoke off unless the mortar crew dies. In which case he can't. They can recruit and then do it, but there you go. Panther's going for it anyways. Blitzing in there as well, attacking from several angles. Got the Pioneer sort of supporting his shooting engaging T-70. Fragmentation bomb, they're clearing out at least one field gun plus, I think, something else there. I actually might have been those Pioneers. Got the T-70, almost got the T-35 there. Push is going fairly well here for him. Lost the Panther 4 though. Got the T-35 there, field gun completely destroyed here. A brutal sundering push here, slicing through the Third Army, crushing the armored forces with the glory of CoH2, Paul's engines, and superior tactics. But there you go, Stu getting a bit out of trouble here, and again, I think part of the issue is just the lack of infantry to really support the attack. I think could have been much stronger with that, going for another Panther 4 here. But Iskra definitely think got punished there for not having more tanks around the kitchen rocket truck. Still, it does end up costing Expanse Runner quite a bit, that Panther 4 Stug. Pioneers, but on the other hand, he also knocked out all of his armor, got rid of a field gun as well. So, I mean, it's not completely rubbish either. But I do think in some regards, Iskra came slightly ahead here on the expense runner, but not by a lot. Not by a lot. I mean, particularly the expense, I think, is going to be much tougher there for Iskra to replace against expense runner, so that's something. Plus, in this situation, Expense Runner is much more quick to bring in more tanks compared to Iskra, so that also, I think, means, again, whatever, like, lead in some ways Iskra theoretically gained is, like, very quickly just vanishing into thin air. So, I still think Expense Runner should go more. Got the second Panther ready. Pushing westwards for the western victory point. Pack machine laying up there. And with the conscripts, slight hit there, but nothing significant. T-35 almost on for Iskra. Striking easily 2 men dead, conquering 40 here. T-35 ready here for Iskra. He can technically go for another one soon, but again, the manpower is the current restrainer here for Iskra in terms of, like, you know, tanks, not fuel. Continental Chopper got Greenspan Panther 4 as well. There we could actually see a wipe here possibly Iska's conscripts, which would definitely help out the expense runner so far. He's yet to really like land any significant infantry wipes on his opponent. And the conscript inside the field gun, conscript moving in to assist further here. But there's an MD-42 and he's any other pigeon around, so it could be quite nasty. And we got the mortar back in action. Oh, we actually got the heavy mortar as well. I missed out on that one. That actually meant expense runner, I think, definitely had on that one. I completely missed out on the heavy mortar. Yeah, that's then a field gun, heavy mortar, 2 tanks for 1 Panther 4 Strook and a Pioneer squad. That's definitely pretty good there for Expense Runner. Completely forgot about the heavy mortar. Another Pioneer squad there for Expense Runner. Up the Panther 4 there, no pinlock machine on that one. Iskra again has the fuel for more tanks, but the manpower remains the problem here. Pack 4 Lancer has gained the ace level here. Machine could advance on the eastern field point, a victory point there. I'm surprised he hasn't done more there, but only a minor point there. More falling down the conscripts, hitting the wreckage of the Panther 4 instead. Panther lining up some of the west. Shoot out the pin on Infantry 2. Got the QG firing off against the MD-42. Smoke going down there. Skirmishing, ground Western point. Then we got the T5 up in the grenadiers. He push them down to half size, force them back. The expansion runner is still frightfully short in infantry. But it looks like he's very much hoping to like use to make up for that with a lot of tanks, which is always a bit risky as the Wehrmacht. Second field gun there for Iskra. Again, no additional tanks. Oh, we do finally get some more guns for expansion runner. Thumbs up to that. Thumbs up to that. T5 roaming about. T. West side here, Pioneer's got pushed off the western field point there, but still we got 286 from the 56 here. Second field gun ready for the Red Army. And that conscript, by the way, is pretty much now fully made up of... A guard squad is not made up full of conscripts. There's not a single actual guardsman left in that unit. That's slightly amusing there. But it is quite cost efficient. Handful lands a good hit here. Got the guards conscript there pushed back. TFF there fixed up. East side here, Pioneers are waiting support from the Panzerwaffe here to deal with conscript by the Eastern Victory Point. We got 286 to 136. Expansion is starting to look like he's definitely accelerating into when he again, ultimately that push, they've really just kind of took the stuffing out of Iskra. Field guns ready here. Third gun squad also equipped with the light machine gun. Sadly, no veteran squad leaders there. Conscript taking hard hits from the Panther 4. Several men, well, one man dead. I think two actually, and then the rest are quite wounded. Lining up for a ragged push for the centre here. Iskra is frantically trying to find a way to break through expansion runners' steel grasp, but he's not allowing it to happen. There you go. We got more smoke being deployed to further mess here and disrupt Iskra's attack or defense here. Thumbs up to expansion runner. Smoke in the right place can really mess with the opponent. In fact, the Germans would at times during attacks employ smoke to basically isolate units from each other so they couldn't easily support each other, for example. So, fun fact there. Handful of the conscripts here, routing them. Machine gun moving towards the Western Victory Point. We got 286 for 222. Third Panther 4 expansion runner. Eine dritte Panzer 4. Be a full Panther 4 platoon then. Field gun T-Fed going for the Panther 4. Decent hit there. Pack body turning around. T ace level. Machine quality catching the controls there. Panther 4 being fixed up. Third one is halfway done here for expansion runner. Mod following close to the conscript, doing a bit of damage. They're gaining veterans you won, but nothing like significant. Mines down here for Iskra. I was concerned about an attack here. Third Panther 4 ready. He's also got the missions for another fragmentation bomb. Looks like we might see another assault being lined ahead soon by expansion runner. He's got the infantry, he's got the tanks, he's got the mortar, and he's got the air support ready lined up here. So I could definitely see him just going for a final thrust here to just cut Iskra in half. And from flank, there you go, straight into mining and showing there the importance of mining. There you go, attacking from the centre here. No smoke though, but still, the way the attack's been coordinated basically just isolates the forces there. Cuts them into ribbons. Panther getting 82, but that's not going to last long there. Sadly, the Schutzen was no match against the T-55 85mm gun here. New squad trouble, field gun destroyed. There's one left here. Infantry support though is bogged down elsewhere. Could have had more infantry support there. Panther was in a bit of trouble here though. Could be a chance if Iskra with the sufficiently vicious counter-attack to maybe turn things around, but odds are looking a bit grim. His men are dying at an incredibly rapid pace. Corpses are piling up here. Another Panther 4 is down, but the field guns are being utterly evaporated, and his infantry just keeps dying. Panther 4, they're blitzing out of that one. Crewing the field gun again here. Could grab the Pack 4. We got the enemy 4 arriving him. Still got another Pack 4 nearby as well. Mortar firing down death here now. Iskra's finally starting to suffer infantry wipes. T-35, they could be in trouble. Actually, I go crewing the Pack 40 as well here. If that T-35 goes up in flames, I think that's a good chance of them being it here for Iskra. I mean, he's down to just 69 victory points with 286. Most of his infantry is either ragged or ruined. And the CoH2 is like just not quite applicable here as the type of warfare that Expensive Runner actually utilizes. Again, this is why he would have been much better off for more tanks or possibly an HU-5. As you might have noticed, Expensive Runner is not a particularly passive player that just punches up his stuff. That definitely means like the CoH2 rocket barrage is a lot less effective since it's much more versus like massed infantry tactics. But again, Expensive Runner does not employ these, so the CoH2 is in that sense, been a rather grave miscalculation by Iskra. He would have been just better off with more tanks and, heavy mortars if he really needed more artillery, I mean. Got another T-35 ready, though. Got 286 to 36. In theory, there's still a chance here for Iskra, but I'd say those are pretty minimal at this point. Got the CoH2 firing away here. Attached to one of the machine guns, wiping up, but there's still another machine in the spot there. There's still the Panther 4 and of course infantry plus the mortar here. Packs on the west here caught them by the guardsmen forts there. Actually got some reinforced there now. Mortar firing down death. Panther 4 Gandhi's doing what they can as well here. We got Iskra there making some minor gains. We got an Ostbend here from Expensive Runner to help deal with the infantry and vehicles perhaps. Guardsmen there closing right by the M42. There you go. Field gun barrage unleashing hell here upon the machine gun crew. High explosive shells being locked in general direction. Iskra has managed to maybe buy himself some more time, but the question is, can he pull through here? We got more guardsmen though. They might provide him with a bit extra push here. Expensive Runner though. Ooh, cancel the Ostbend. We could call in some storms just to rush up the eastern victory point unless the gunnies are going to do it. Guess he's just going to go for another Panther 4. We got gunnies powered with a flamethrower here. That's definitely bad news for any sort of infantry. That is very bad news. 276 was 32, and there got another Panther 4 for Expensive Runner. A regular mortar there with 4 kills. Well, technically, the Germans considered a heavy mortar a good part of the war until they got their hands on the third heavy mortar. It's a little fun fact there. And he's close being wiped out here. Oof, and that was his most veteran Grenadier squad there. Or one of them. Almost got the T-5 enemy for the zone infantry as well. See as well. Second Panther 4 is almost good to go. There you go. Incendiary Pierce rounds being unleashed again. Slashing through the zone infantry. Ripping them apart. And the film crew, of course, taking full damage because it can't be suppressed. So that is being utterly annihilated there. Smoke deployed here to defend the point. Very sneaky there by Expensive Runner. They're going to contest the point more easily. Thumbs up there. Advancing in the centre where there's a CoH2 barrage off. The guard squad their forward wing back. 274 versus 17. The situation is looking increasingly desperate for Iskra as he just first where he can into this furnace of war. And more smoke being deployed here. Just more and more smoke. Firing the Panther 1 here. Kind of willing to risk his grenadiers on that one, but it seems to be slightly working out. There we go. It is working out actually. Then the gunny's going to move up for the smoke and wipe there, but still we got 274 versus 4. That's going to be then 1. And then that's going to be GG. Wipe the guard squad there, by the way. So there you go, GG, game over. A loss here for Iskra, victory for Expensive Runner. He fears fighting with some nice back and forth action. Some really good attacks here by Expensive Runner. Nice use of smoke as well here for disruption. I would like to see some Panther grenades with the upgrades. Stormtroopers, some assault and hold would have been nice, but I would say he handled himself quite well. Iskra also handled himself so early to mid, but again, I feel like that CoH2 just ended up collecting too much dust, plus you need to make better use of his heavy mortar. I feel like those are the areas there where Iskra could have done better versus Expensive Runner and have a better chance of winning there. Like, he just pulled for like a mass of T-45s there fast. I think he'd have been much better position to actually have a chance if it was an Expensive Runner. But in the end, the CoH2, along with a few other issues, I think just proved to be too much for him to have a chance against Expensive Runner. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell a family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. Till tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.